Welcome back. Well, as the globe celebrated World Mother Tongue Day on Friday, a literacy project is being launched in the Eastern Cape. The Mother Tongue Literacy Project is being piloted in 15 primary schools in Zwelitsha and King Williamstown. Pupils are being taught how to read and comprehend their mother tongue. The project will focus on pupils in grades 4 to 6 and isiXhosa teachers. Joining us from the Eastern Cape Department of Education is language specialist Dr. Naledi Mbude. Doctor, good morning. Thank you for your time. I suppose start off by telling us who this project is for and why it's so important.
Good morning, Natasha, and good morning to your viewers. I want to correct the information that you have. The schools now are standing at 2,008 schools in the Eastern Cape province. Across the board, it's in all provinces, in all districts of the Eastern Cape, we have 12 districts. It is aimed at maths and science learners who would otherwise change LOLT, the language of learning and teaching, in grade 3 when they move over to grade 4 to start being taught in English. It's aimed at those learners who are struggling with concepts in mathematics and science because language acts as a barrier, particularly the language that they don't speak at home, that they only have access to in school. You do know, Natasha, that we can't only speak about the language of teaching and learning in maths and science, we also teach about the language of maths and the language of science. So it's aimed at ensuring access to mathematics and science, removing the language barrier for all our learners who are, in this instance, isiXhosa mainly speaking, and isiSotho as well. So it's developing African languages to speak isiXhosa, to speak mathematics, and to speak science. The project has been done since 2012, and we are now at a stage where our learners who started the project in 2012 will be writing their grade 12 in 2020. So it is incremental per grade from grade 4, 5, 2017 it was grade 4, 2018 it was grade 5, 2019 it was grade 6. We are now sitting at grade 7 across the board in the Eastern Cape. So it's 2008 schools.
Oh, wow, it's fantastic. Thank you for that correction just in terms of the numbers. Talk us through how teachers have been upskilled in being able to deliver their classes in mother tongue languages.
Okay, thanks, Natasha. We followed the international principle of maintaining the child's home language to teach, because it's internationally accepted research principle that in South Africa you only have formally the advantaged people who speak English and Afrikaans, who've always had mother tongue education. It is only black people who have never had access to mother tongue education from cradle to university. Mother tongue education has always been confined to the first 4 years of schooling, and now lately to the first 3 years of schooling, which creates a backlog for learners who have to struggle with mathematics concepts and science concepts. And we see this repeated failure in Africa because people believe mistakenly that English equals education. So what we had to do, or what all countries do in the developed world, where they develop terminologies, register, train educators, develop material, develop bilingual question papers, and ensure that learners have access to the curriculum and not just to the language itself. So we've maintained ensuring that the people who have to deliver the curriculum, which is our educators, we put them at the center of the training that we have done, and also our subject specialists. So we've had that collaboration. Up to now, the project has been a success because we are using the expertise that is in our classrooms that now struggles with having to translate everything.
And you mentioned an interesting point about developed nations using their mother tongue languages to do business, create different technology. So in a way, it benefits the economy when the mother tongue language is strong in a country. Do you think that this is where we're heading?
We must head that way, Natasha, because the underdevelopment in Africa is linked to the issue of language. You cannot, if you look at the principle and as a norm, multilingualism is the norm in all countries that are developed, particularly home language education. Because if you remove what the child will use tomorrow as a person who must contribute to the economy of the country, then you cut that person out. And this is the case for all African language speaking people in Africa, actually. So we must move that way and use human language technology to speed up the development of African language so that they can speak technology, they can speak maths, they can speak science, because we find that children learn better. And it becomes much more easier for them to be integrated in society as active citizens, as people who can contribute something, rather than people who drop out of school because they haven't done well in English.
Is the Department of Education actively involved in this? And speak us through the department's role in making sure that this program is a success.
Remember, there are two things that determine language policy. One is political will. It's the commitment and putting money into what we are saying in terms of your policy, because we already have a constitution that mandates us in South Africa to maintain the home language of learners in schooling. We haven't done that well after the 1994, and this is what the Eastern Cape has started to do in terms of development of African languages to suit and to ensure that they are moving along with globalization and technology. So in terms of will, our department and our government, particularly nationally, supporting all our efforts in ensuring that we lead in terms of ensuring that we develop African language to that level. So at least we have the support of our government, particularly our Premier and our MEC, and the National Minister as well, who was here yesterday, who said to us, you know, we've been saying, make sure that you follow the Constitution. So we have political backing. We have the political will, and money has been put by this government to ensure that this happens. So everything that you need in terms of advocacy, in terms of ensuring that you do your part in working with universities, with the Pan South African Language Board, and everybody who's interested in ensuring equal access to education, not only for Africans and English speakers, but for African language, because who happen to be the majority in the country and the continent, for that matter.
Oh, it's fantastic work that you're doing. Thank you very much for your time this morning. Dr. Naledi Mbude, she's a language specialist with the Eastern Cape Department of Education.